Hey guys, today we've got something really interesting for you, the new Mitsubishi XForce. And to review the car, I'm gonna have some help. Hey everyone, Vince and
Roanna
from AutoIndustriya.com, and today we're gonna review the new Mitsubishi XForce GT variant for you. But first, Roanna, care to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Roanna Hamir. I used to write for AutoIndustriya reviewing cars, and then I was a CNN Philippines news anchor, and then now I'm back in radio and also back with AutoIndustriya. So I'm very happy to be here.
So I know you guys, you're already tired of my face already and my voice, so we thought we'd bring in someone fresh to really help out with doing a lot of these reviews. And Roanna, I know, is gonna do a great job, and I hope you take it easy on her in the comments. Just kidding, I know she's gonna knock it out of the park. So the XForce is the vehicle we have for you guys today. It's a small, subcompact SUV. Roanna, what do you think of the look?
Well, looking at the very front, I do like this front grille. It has a very sort of futuristic but very hip look to it. I do like that, and it's got like a number of colors in there. Normally you have, for most vehicles, just one or two tones, but this seems like a tritone, right?
And
we
black.
see some, obviously we see the actual color of the vehicle, and then we see some black, some silver. So there's three colors in there, and it kind of looks cool where it's integrated, but it's also like alternate.
One thing we've really noticed with a lot of like these kinds of cars, car makers, they like to go for something really, really sharp. Mitsubishi went rounded, which is kind of neat, right?
I also do like this cat eye sort of look.
The headlight.
For the headlights.
Yeah, I mean, you have the DRL here. It lights up at night and at day, hence daylight running light. And then you have the projectors here. That's your main beam. But yeah, the look is very, very nice. But more importantly, it's what it offers when it comes to, let's say, a subcompact SUV. A lot of them tend to be low to the ground, even though they're really crossovers. This one is actually quite tall, 193 millimeters off the ground. In other markets, you get it around 222 millimeters. Plenty of height.
It is pretty.
Yeah, it is pretty high.
I'm 5 feet flat, so it's like up to here, my waist basically, so that's pretty high considering it's a compact car.
True. Okay, Roanna, do you think the vehicle looks muscular from the side?
I believe it does look muscular, but it does also have a lot of feminine elements to it.
Like what?
For example, the sleek lines, especially this, the slanted sort of, it's like a cat eye. It reminds me of, when girls wear the makeup, and then we like to do the cat eye makeup. So it looks like the headlights are eyes, but it's got cat eye makeup.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I feel when I'm looking at it. And also just the different kind of elements. I believe there's those I don't know, geographical, what do you call that? Geometric
one.
Shapes that's been indented onto the side, the skirt.
On the skirt.
Yeah, it feels very it feels masculine, but the fact that it has that, it feels feminine too.
They try to go for this. I mean, many of these crossovers, they go for like the way they do the fenders.
Right.
They give it the nice cuts, like muscle cuts, which I don't have. But you also have the fender flares over there. Size of the wheels is very nice. Got these hand-cooked tires. More importantly, if we look here at the back, we can see that it's got front and rear disc brakes. So this is good for braking performance overall. It just allows for better cooling when it comes to the brakes. Not that you're going to be, driving a lot hard anyway, but it's still good to have that kind of, reassurance when it comes to the braking. Okay, so this is the back of the new XForce. Roanna, what do you think of the look?
I think it sort of mirrors the front. We have the same sort of cat eye look going on.
But in red.
Right, in red. So in the back it's angry. It's like, better watch out.
They got a nice spoiler up top. And not so steeply raked rear glass. The tailgate here. The rear bumper, I mean, it's pretty nice and color keyed with the black. Yeah,
I like this element where it kind of separates this part, and this protrudes a little bit. It has a nice design to it. It makes it look pretty cool.
No fake tailpipes, which is always a good thing when we check out vehicles. The tailgate of the X-Force is motorized. There are 3 ways to open it. The first is a button right there. The second is via the key, which is with Roanna. And the third is when you go and sweep the leg. Pretty cool, right? Now that we have the rear open, which by the way, the kick sensor can be a little bit buggy on this vehicle, so keep that in mind. But once we do get it open, the space measures about 31 inches from length, like from here to there, about 39.5 inches wide. There's a little bit more, like it's got these compartments here, which I think you'll find useful, Roanna, like right here.
Right.
Right, like little pockets there, which is, you know, pretty good. But more importantly, the height is about 33 up to there, and it's got this tonneau cover that you can kind of collapse. I mean, there's a way to collapse this to make it more compact, like a sunshade right there, which is actually a nice thing. I wonder if it'll fit here.
Yeah, perfect.
It fits there nice and perfect. But the space also expandable. Roanna, want to open that side up? So here, is it easy? Is it heavy?
Yeah. No, not at all.
Pretty easy. So the thing, when you expand the space now, it goes up to around 54 inches. And by the way, it's not a 60-40 split. It's a 40-20-40 split, which is a nice thing to have. It gives you extra versatility. Let me show you now. Like when we pull this up again, we can fold down this seat right there. It doesn't go down full, but it actually allows you to have 4 people and have something long right there in between. Powering the Mitsubishi X-Force is a 4A91. It's a 1.5 liter naturally aspirated engine, and if that engine code sounds familiar, it's because it's the same one as the one in the Expander MPV. But the real difference here is that instead of a 4-speed automatic, this one has a CVT driving the front wheels. It has about 105 PS and 141 Newton meters of torque.
Vince, you said 105?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it's fast.
I
mean,
know.
I know some Hondas that can actually, you know, have
True.
a higher HP than that.
The Hondas, I think they have 120. Some of the Geelys even have like 170, with a 1.5. So yeah, the X-Force needs a little bit more of force, but for a vehicle of this size, it should be okay. It just won't feel sprightly.
Okay.
You know, you're gonna have to really step on it more, and I think that's where the CVT is going to come into play a lot. So looking around the engine bay, what else do we see?
I noticed this foam
Okay.
on the top. I mean, I've seen several cars, you know, under the hood, but they don't have this. What is this for?
This is called a hood insulator. You'll see insulation all around here, and that's something actually Mitsubishi is really good at. The sound insulation, the heat insulation is important as well.
Okay.
So you know when you're driving and it starts to rain, you know your hood starts to steam up. If you have one of these, generally it'll help prevent that or reduce that.
Okay.
Same with that. See that
Yeah,
on
what
on-
is this?
Yeah, same thing. This is a firewall. This is just a cowling, but the firewall it prevents it from the bulkhead. It prevents more heat from getting in there because beyond that it's already the cabin.
We know that this is a compact car, but it's pretty high compared to
Yeah.
other small SUVs. But how high can water be where you can safely go through floods?
Mitsubishi isn't telling us any like figures when it comes to water weighting because this is not a pickup truck, but so we can only really guess based on where the position of this
Right.
is, the position of the door and all that. So personally, I wouldn't go above the plates. So that would be more or less, hopefully, probably safe. But whenever you do have to cross a flood, no matter how deep or shallow, it's best to have your car checked right away, especially when it comes to the brakes and the under chassis and all that. But still, it's a very promising looking engine bay because some of the others we've seen pretty much unpainted. This one is very neatly done.
Right. It looks nice even on the inside.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's new, but you can tell like somebody paid a lot of
Right.
attention to making sure designing and
Right.
spacing everything to be just right. Anyways, enough of the engine bay. How about we go and take out for a drive?
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Okay, so now we're finally riding in the X-Force. Roanna, what do you think of the interior?
I feel like it's very luxurious. I like the look. It's very sleek, but also very
hip and not the usual and typical interior for a car. I see a lot of luxurious detail, like this canvas type texture on the front, which is very unique. It kind of reminds me of like a nice, very chill home environment.
Okay.
like a living room setting. So
Yeah.
it kind of feels like a home, but you're inside a car. So I like that element. But next to the very advanced looking, futuristic sort of looking screen that we have here that's integrated into the actual car itself. It's not just an external thing that's been put in.
Like an iPad kind
Right.
of thing.
It's within the car.
Yeah.
It makes it feel very sleek.
It's integrated the way they
Right.
do it. This, by the way, is a 12.3-inch screen. So this is like your main
Okay.
touch screen kind of thing. You control your audio.
Right.
By the way, we have wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, and we'll show those in the B-rolls now. But the screen can do so much, and we'll show you a bit all the kind of displays it has. I mean, it has this general display, and then you have the driving score. You can play all of that when you're driving. So it gives you, like, for example, here the driving score thing. It shows you how efficient you are being with the with the
Okay.
brakes, how smooth you are with the steering, that kind of thing. So these are things that you don't find in any other vehicle.
Right.
And Mitsubishi is really good at that. But more on that later, though. But the driving display here also very nice. You see, it's very unique.
I see it's very big,
Yeah.
and it's not like individual little circles,
Yeah.
like in other cars, for example, where you have little circles. It's all separate. Here it's all together, like you said, integrated. So I like that it's just one sleek screen.
Yeah, I mean that's what Mitsubishi is doing now with their vehicles. They're going for the more digitized kind of thing. Very
Right.
futuristic. It is a bit busy, I have to say, because you have your speed on the outer rim of that this display, the square-ish display, and then you have the RPM just below it. It's really different.
And it's positioned in a different way than the usual, right? Normally
Yeah.
it's on like a circle.
Yeah.
But this way it's kind of like going up on a sort of like an arch.
Yeah, it takes getting used to.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a bit of familiarization. Now, the steering wheel. I mean, this one, right now I'm the one using it, but it feels great. It's got these perforations, these dimples on it that gives you a nice
So it's
grip.
great for people who get clammy hands
Yeah.
and feel sweaty on a hot day.
Yeah.
You know that your hands aren't going to slip on the steering wheel.
True. It gives you a bit more
Grip,
grip
yeah.
overall, which is nice. You got buttons on the left, mostly for controlling this screen right here.
Okay.
So you can adjust the different displays there, compass, your trip meter, fuel economy, and all that. These are things that this screen displays. It gives you so much versatility when it comes to information.
Right.
And then on the right side, you have your smart cruise control features. So you know this vehicle can follow another one in front and
Okay.
stay safely like behind.
Oh, really?
So, like, for
it's
example-
great for the convoys.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like for a long road trip, it gets a bit boring.
Right.
So you just use this, and then it'll just maintain a nice, safe distance with the vehicle ahead. So like for example, if you set it to 100 and you're following a vehicle, whatever the speed of the vehicle in front, it will follow that.
Okay.
You know, it'll go to 100 when the road opens up and it's nice.
Right.
And, but back to the like overall feel, right, of the vehicle. So the seating position, for me, I find it's a bit high for my liking. Like it's a bit
Probably
raised
perfect
up.
for me.
Probably, oh yeah.
For my
for
size.
you. So for you, it'll give you like the great visibility ahead.
Oh, right.
This
I can see that.
is the lowest setting.
Is
So
it?
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It is the lowest setting. So for me, I would prefer something a little bit lower, but that's just my preference.
Right.
But for the market that they're really going for with this vehicle, I think it works. Yeah, it has a lot of storage compartments, if you notice.
I see
Yeah.
that. I see that.
Like on the side, which is nice, like for your wallet, your phone.
Right, even for like pens or something here on the side.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have all of that in this vehicle. And then it has a wireless charger here. So if you notice, like my phone is connected to the Android Auto of this, but it's sitting on a wireless charger,
Oh, just by placing it there, it's already charging.
It's
Oh,
already
that's
charging.
awesome.
which is cool. So I don't have to worry about that. But
Trying to plug it in, you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about that. You can just like set it down and
Yeah.
it's charging. Okay.
the only problem though with this is that because there's no ventilation there, your phone
Gets
gets a bit
hot.
warm. Yeah. So not preferred. Maybe if there was a vent there to direct some air,
Right.
that would be actually good. But as it stands, it works pretty nice. The charging works pretty well overall. And 2 cup holders here, a big compartment here. By the way, it has, if you notice this,
What is that?
right, try to put your
Ooh.
hand there. It gets cold, right?
Yeah, what is it?
It's a cooler.
Oh.
So you can put
like drinks?
yeah,
And whatnot?
yeah, for a long road trip, it'll cool it right down.
Okay, and this
That's our
is-
microphone.
Oh.
Do you like piano black?
I do. I like that it has very different sort of textures. You're right. There's like shiny black surface,
True.
and then there's the black leathery surface, and then there's very intricate detail that combined it looks very luxurious.
How about the geometric pattern?
I love that geometric pattern. It's very unique. I haven't been in a car that has that.
Really?
Usually you'd see that on like walls and in interiors in buildings or homes, but not in cars. I don't see that very often. So
Yeah.
I like that integration into the whole design of this vehicle. Like I said, it uses a lot of different elements, but a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but combined it looks very fancy.
It seems that I think Mitsubishi really spent a lot of time designing the interior. For one, it's got to be functional.
Right,
So hence you have all the compartments.
right.
It's got to look pleasing to the eye, and it's also got to be ergonomic.
Right.
So the ergonomic sense of the steering wheel I like, but the seat not so much. But the storage I think is one of the best parts about the XForce. I mean, glove compartment is full of stuff, by the way. But
Yeah, but there's this part on top of the glove compartment that's
Yeah.
kind of like a little hollow sort of shelf area.
yeah,
That is great also for easy access for your phone and makeup and whatnot.
yeah, that's true. That's actually gonna be really handy. I mean, not
Right.
for me, for makeup.
Right.
I don't do.
I mean, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
where do girls usually do their touch-ups? So, I mean,
True.
most likely it's probably in the car right before they get off the car to go to the restaurant or wherever party they're going to. My only concern is, since this is like a cloth type material,
Yeah.
which is similar to actually what I'm wearing right now, like that little,
Matches.
is that I don't know if how dirty this can
Yeah,
get.
it looks like potentially dumihin.
Right? Yeah. So it's if you have a kid that kind of just touches it, or somebody with filthy hands or food or ketchup.
Bring
So
gloves.
that's my only
Bring gloves. Have them wear gloves.
Do not touch
Yeah.
this portion of the vehicle.
But what's nice though, check under your seat. You'll feel a little tray
What
there.
is this?
Yeah, there's a little tray there.
There is a tray. What is this
Yeah.
for?
You can have your shoes there. It's like a little shoe compartment.
Perfect. Does yours have that too? The driver's?
No, unfortunately, just you.
Ah. Most likely when people go, I don't know about guys. Obviously, I don't think you wear high heels, right?
No, I don't.
But for a lot of girls, it's nice to have like a spare sandals, like flat shoes, ballet slippers or something in the car.
Yeah.
Just in case your feet are tired, even if you're not wearing high heels, but you're just tired, your shoes hurt, and you can just change into. I know a lot of friends who actually don't drive with regular shoes and they drive either barefoot or wearing special driving shoes.
Shouldn't drive barefoot. That's pretty. That's pretty. Well, I mean, let us know in the comments below, guys, if you drive barefoot. What do you think of how the ride is and how quiet it is?
It's fairly quiet. It's fairly quiet.
I mean, for a small car, I mean, generally in this class of car, it's usually, cheaper build, cheaper
Right.
material, and the ride isn't normally, like really super fantastic. Motorcycle, we can hear. I mean, we don't have laminated glass, do
Yeah.
we? No, we don't. Just tempered glass on the side. But overall, see, motorcycle.
That's nice. I mean, yeah, you can hear the outside noise.
I mean, we don't expect, like Mercedes or Lexus
Right.
levels of
But if you have
quietness
music
inside.
anyhow.
The great part is the audio system, the speaker system is done by Yamaha.
Ah.
And Yamaha, as we know,
Of course, it's music, right? It's a
they're
music
really good.
brand.
Yeah. So for power, the XForce takes a while to respond, and that's kind of to be expected of this. It's only a 1.5. There's no turbo.
Right.
So, but where it does do well is fuel economy. So in the city, we're getting around 11 to 12 kilometers per liter, depending on the traffic conditions. And on the highway, you can expect up to around 18. And it all depends on your average speeds and what the traffic is.
And how you drive.
Yeah, and how you drive. That's more importantly. But now the ride. You said you feel some of the bumps.
I feel the bumps.
Yeah, that's really to be expected in this kind of vehicle. It's a short wheelbase car, but that's a challenge for any car manufacturer. How do you make something small more comfortable? And seems that Mitsubishi's done well considering it is going to be a small car.
Right.
And these cars, they really work on for ASEAN roads, for Southeast Asia. So, roads like this, EDSA, where it's bumpy, it's rough, it's noisy.
And for people who aren't that confident with parking, the more compact and small the vehicle is, the easier it is in general to kind of find a parking space.
True.
So, there's those elements that become a positive when it comes to cars like these. But it reminds me of those apartments where they've reutilized the space, because it's a tiny, let's say, condo unit. So they've utilized the space where there's a lot of compartments, there's a lot of cabinetry, there's a lot of different shelving for you to put your items in. So there's less chance that you're going to have a messy car, because you've got a lot of areas to put in little trinkets here and there for your items, whether it's work stuff or personal stuff, makeup, so it kind of helps keep things organized if you have those areas to hide them in, basically.
I like that. I like that idea, like the proper place for everything.
Right. Because if there's nowhere to put it, you basically just dump it all on the floor, or people just dump it usually in the back seat of a car, and then that becomes like the closet. So here, since there's a lot of different areas that you can put your items in, it's easier for somebody who's organized to actually organize their items.
That's actually what I like about what Mitsubishi did. And there's you've heard of the Expander, right? The Mitsubishi Expander. It's like an MPV 7-seater.
Right.
This is kind of like the shorter version of that. And the Expander has always been one of our favorite MPVs in its category, because they did the chassis so well. It rides really well. It's got a lot of the same features, like the compartments and all that. Very intelligent, very intelligently done. Very smart the way they did that. And I like how they maximize it. And we can feel a lot of that same all these considerations that they had with the Expander into the XForce. And we're really excited to see more of this on the road, because I think a lot of people are gonna like it. There are gonna be some real drawbacks. There are gonna be some real drawbacks, because there's no, for one, you don't get a sunroof for this price. You don't get all-wheel drive.
What is this one?
This one is your sunglass holder.
Nice.
So right now, but there's no sunroof. It doesn't open up. But still, the quality, I think, is going to be one of the bigger selling points of this, because it seems very well built. Apart from the A-pillar that I spotted here, but it seems overall well built for the money. But they're a bit short on some of the features that people would expect for a car of this price.
So the Mitsubishi XForce comes in several variants, 2 actually, and this one is the top of the line, the XForce GT, and that comes in at a little less than 1.6 million. Now Vince, do you see that going into the vehicle?
Well, if you look at it purely from the spec sheet, from the features, you're not gonna see the 1.6 million, because I think Mitsubishi spent the money when it comes to the XForce in the engineering, the testing. You feel it when you drive it. It feels better, it feels more solid, and that's something we expect out of Mitsubishi, and we haven't seen them do this since, I don't know, the ASX in this kind of crossover game.
Do you feel that a lot of it could also be the style that was put into it, the element of design, perhaps?
I think so, yeah. Because the focus on design, you have to capture the attention of the market with the design, and then you kind of keep them in with your after sales, with how it feels inside, with how it drives. And I think that's something Mitsubishi does very, very well. But it's going to be a real challenge when you come up a lot of the other competitors in the market. And that's what makes it interesting. There's diversity in our market. But anyways, guys, this is Vince and Roanna. We just finished with the XForce. Let us know what you think about it in the comments below. And thank you, Roanna, for joining.
Thank you so much for having me.
Pwede na ako umalis, siya na bahala.